This is Randy Bell with the Courier podcast, the place to come for the latest Clinton news. As Mayor Will Purdie and the Board of Aldermen work to craft a budget for the fiscal year which begins October 1st, the hits just kept on coming. Two unpleasant surprises will force the city to tighten its spending plans for FY26.
It does look like we'll be facing some significant shortfalls revenue-wise. Some cost overruns, so between the two, I think we'll have a hole to make up, certainly, so I would expect that it will be a relatively lean budget year.
But city employees can still expect a 3% bump in their paychecks.
I'm happy that, with some of the issues we faced in this budget season, to be able to do something for city employees. Certainly we know that inflation and cost are probably far outstripping what we can do, but to be able to hopefully help offset some of that is good.
And the mayor is happy that no tax increase will be needed.
That was very much a goal of ours going into this, and one I'm happy we were able to achieve.
City Clerk Jimmy Baldry says because of inaccurate information provided by Hinds County, the city received about $400,000 less than it was expecting in ad valorem taxes from car tags this fiscal year.
The assessed value is what was misstated. That is the base for the calculations of what we anticipate to collect through the year.
The city has enough money left in its current budget to finish FY25 in the black, but the car tag issue means there will be $400,000 less to carry over to the new fiscal year. At a budget hearing August 6th, the mayor said he was not at all pleased with this. One night later, as board members reconvened to hear more department head requests, another bombshell exploded when they learned that the fire department had exceeded this year's overtime budget by some $357,000 as firefighters doubled up to cover vacant shifts. Purdie told the aldermen on August 7th this is going to significantly affect the rest of the budget talks. Taken together, the tag revenue shortfall and the excessive overtime will have a budget impact of about $750,000 on a city spending plan which is expected to total just over $22 million. The current budget was in excess of $23 million.
We're going to have to tighten up on our spending for the rest of this year to try to have as much as we can to carry over and tackle the plans that we have for next year. And we'll have less to work with. So unfortunately, the department heads and the various departments won't be able to do everything that they'd like to do.
But he says it's a message they've heard before.
We have, I think, fortunately, the last couple of years started through the process kind of just naturally trying to trim things and be as efficient as we can and as accurate as we can on things. We've worked on this each year, and so we're already kind of in that mode.
Police Chief Fort Heyman recognizes the need for a tighter budget. He had planned to ask the board for 5 new vehicles, but after hearing what the city is facing, he says the department can get by for another year with the cars it has.
We understand that. We want to do our part to help keep the costs down, just so there's other areas of the city that might be more important this year, and they need a little help, and we want to be there to help them.
While some of the overtime, which piled up, was the result of firefighters who were dissatisfied with their pay leaving the department, some firefighters worked beyond their normal hours to cover for those who were out with injuries or in training. The department also had to tap into overtime to make sure a paramedic was available to staff the rescue truck. With a shortage of paramedics within the CFD, the department hired contract paramedics. But when they weren't available, firefighters trained as paramedics were paid overtime to be on the truck. Going forward, those contract paramedics will not be used, saving money on that part of the budget, and the rescue truck will be converted into a special operations unit with no paramedic required. According to Purdie, the city doesn't have much of a choice.
We just simply have to make up that massive overage, and that's unfortunately one of the primary ways to do so. Now, certainly I would like to look towards getting it back on the road if possible. I think it's something that provides a valuable service.
But the mayor says at this point they just don't have the money to keep operating it. However, the city is quick to point out that even though a paramedic riding in a rescue truck won't be part of the initial response to calls now, An effort is being made to ensure that the work schedules of the department's 7 paramedics are set up so that one of them is on duty at all times and able to respond anywhere in Clinton, even if it means sending an engine from a second fire station to the scene. Fire Chief Levius Buckley says 7 paramedics for a city the size of Clinton is not nearly enough.
I would like to have at least 12 to 15. If we have 12, we can spread them 4 per shift and that 1 on every engine that we have in the city. We got guys that are ready to go if the city going to pay for it.
Buckley considers it a good investment.
Absolutely. We need it.
The chief says the local ambulance company, AMR, may be adjusting the way it responds to calls in Clinton to get one of its paramedics on the scene sooner. In a statement, the company said, AMR is committed to collaborate to the full limit of our resources to adapt to these new circumstances. This challenge highlights the importance of discussing community needs and the resources required to address them. A public hearing on the proposed budget and tax levy will be held as part of the Board of Aldermen meeting on September 2nd at 6 p.m. A vote on adopting the tax levy will be taken. Adoption of the budget is scheduled for September 15th at 5:30 p.m. during a special meeting prior to the board's work session. I'm Randy Bell.